battery pack split up into two separate battery packs. Your entry planks are forward your 8 o'clock. The weight of the batteries balance out the front, and you weave back like this. And that's in contrast to weave whacking like this. Now, let me start with the most important benefit of this design is heat dissipation from the battery packs. Now the battery packs, when you've got all the cells in one spot, they're cooking each other as they're discharging, right? Because they're all packed in. When you take those same cells and you put them in two battery packs, you just increase the heat dissipation far more than you could with any other design. You're simply removing them. You're separating them with distance in between them, air distance. And I mean, for your marketing managers, you can imagine the numbers that you're going to be able to put on the box about longevity of the batteries, probably twice as long, years, as well as runtime, because you're not dealing with nearly as much heat. Okay, that's the main benefit. The other benefit is the ergonomics. Like I showed you here, this is simply not comfortable. All right. Now, anatomy tells you that when you're leaning over like this, first of all, you're bearing all the weight with one arm. Okay. Second of all, this arm is reaching outwards, so now you're putting it at a disadvantage, and you're trying to direct all the weight down here by an arm that's reached out. Okay, that's a flaw. And finally, when you're leaning over, now your neck muscles are bearing the weight of your head all day. People who use this stuff all day. Alright? So that's why they feel like they do at the end of the day. But they don't have to. Alright? When you have something like this, and you saw how I was standing, what can you complain about? Standing just like this, like holding a wheelbarrow. Okay? This design is going to give you a competitive advantage. There's just no question about it. I have a full patent on this design, believe it or not. Okay? Nothing like this can be made without the patent. Nothing even close to that. It is an extremely broad patent. Okay? Anything that has the batteries here and you're standing in the middle and holding it like that with the action head up front is patented by this patent. The way I figured this out, my name is John Rizzo. I'm 40 years old. I've done lawn maintenance in South Florida for 18 years, okay, by myself actually. I've hired a few people here and there, but almost all that's by myself. I also was a former science teacher, and I have training in anatomy and physiology with my paramedic degree, so that's how I was able to figure this out and to realize that this is the exact design that needs to happen so that battery tools can finally overtake gas. That's the problem with battery tools right now. Everybody wants to go to them, but they're too heavy, and there's not enough runtime and power. All right? Keep in mind, when you have two battery packs, now you have the option, you're bearing the tool on both arms, so you can actually hold more weight and not be tired. So you can actually put more battery power and more runtime or power on the tool and not have any problem with usability. Go online and look at any of the reviews. You're probably thinking several things, and I'm going to address the three things. One, you can make it so that you can do a vertical cut with the trimmer line. All you have to do is have a mechanism for rotating the head, and then you simply just carry it at a slight angle so that you can edge in a vertical plane. Okay, so that's one. The other thing, these can be made to collapse. I've seen hinges on other tools. These can be made, this whole thing can be made to collapse if you look at the patent. The patent has the drawings, and that will show you that. So for distribution, for storage, it's not going to be a problem. And finally, the backpack harness approach that is currently being done in this industry is, if you look at any of the reviews, you've got nothing but complaints. And I'll explain one reason why. The main reason is if you are taking think you want to take the battery off the back of this tool and put it on your back. Here's what happens. Right? Somewhat balanced tool. Take the battery off. Now you're front heavy. You can see that. Now you have to press down on the tool in order to rebalance it. So you are making the tool just as heavy as before. Your right hand is fighting your left hand now. And so it negates the whole purpose of taking the battery off and putting it onto your back. All right, that's number one. That's a tough thing to overcome there. All right, tough fact to swallow, but it's true. The other thing, no worker wants to have a hot battery pack harness on their back while they're working in 90-degree weather. Okay, heat rashes. You know, you've got the straps on your neck. All right, look at the reviews. They don't like it. I think Ego had to discontinue theirs because it was too heavy and it was just pummeling the workers. So I think I've addressed the main issues here, and now it's for you guys to decide whether this is going to be your next competitive advantage. I apologize. There's one last point that I need to make, and that's that this also works for an edger. And this is particularly important for edging because when you're edging, you're forced to reach over across your body.